All right, Friday, April 24th, 2026. Waiting for everyone to join in here. Good morning. Good morning. All right. All right. And we are live. We are live. Good morning, mamas. It is 6:59 a.m. I jumped on here a little bit early today. As we wait for everybody to join in, welcome in. So often we hear people say good morning, and without consciousness, it's like, oh, good morning, good morning. But when you think about it, it allows you to really actually think, wow, it is a good morning. And isn't it a good morning? Instead of good morning, it becomes good morning. Yes, it is a good morning. It is a good morning. It is a good day. It is a good day. It is a good opportunity to be here today. So often we hear people say, good morning, good morning, good morning, unconsciously, good morning. When we bring awareness to the interactions and how we and what we say, we allow ourselves, when people are looking at you saying, good morning, good morning, good morning, it's easy to go unconscious as we rebuttal the common phrases that are cultural staples. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. When we bring awareness to the things that come out of our mouths, the words that we say, we give meaning and intention to them. Good morning becomes good morning. As you settle into that good morning, you allow yourself to feel what a good morning it is. With that awareness, it enriches that experience that we all have in the morning. And as we say good morning and really feel that it is a good morning, really appreciate that it is a good morning, we settle in to the good morning that it is. And so today, mamas, I encourage you to bring awareness to the things that you're saying throughout a day. Bye, hi, good morning, good night, good afternoon, how you doing? And bring awareness to what we're saying to others. More importantly, what are we saying to ourselves? That inner chatter that's always going on throughout a day. How does that look? What does that sound like? How does that feel? Because you will bear the fruit of your thoughts. Good thoughts, good fruit. Negative thoughts, negative fruit. It's like the seeds that we plant in life. Whatever you plant will come to fruition. You can't plant an oak seed, an oak-corn seed, and expect to get a maple tree. Seeds produce of their kind. Thoughts produce of their kind, their same kind. So if you are planting positive thoughts, if you're planting thoughts of intention and attention today, I will repeat that, thoughts of intention and attention today, that will alchemize and transform what you actually experience. As we know, thoughts produce fruit of their kind. So negative thoughts, negative fruit. How could it be anything other? Everything is continually working. So what are we telling ourselves today? I get it. Some mornings we wake up and it's hard. Some mornings we wake up and we're in a mood. Some mornings we wake up and we don't absolutely feel great. Okay, pause. Ask yourself this, where is this coming from? Am I sleep deprived right now? Is it a need that I've been neglecting within myself? Have I not set boundaries in a specific way? Have I not communicated the need that I have? Okay, take that in as information. Now that we have that information, how can we take space as we collectively choose to take a new action in a new direction clearly? Not in a state of responsiveness, not in a state of reactivity, but in a state of presence and peace. In a state of presence and peace. You do not have the presence and peace without that pause, though, without that noticing, without that asking deeper level questions of what is actually going on here. What is actually happening here beyond the thoughts in the mind? Beyond the thoughts in the mind, what is actually happening here? If you're sleep deprived, understand that. Maybe plan to get extra sleep tonight or take a nap or whatever you can do with what you have. Maybe you're actually sick right now and you feel physically sick. Okay, cool. Give yourself grace and space in that and ask for help where you need help as you navigate getting well. Maybe you're feeling overwhelmed because of your workload that you have or the meetings that you have today, etc. Okay, great. Those are indicators that you might need help or you might need to actually take care of yourself, do some deep breath work before you enter your work, write your problems down on paper to say, okay, I have a lot on my plate right now. What can I do? It's not about what I can't do, guys. I want you to write the word can't on a piece of paper right now. And I want you to cross off that T. And I want you to circle the C. I want you to circle the C-A-N. Can. What can you do today? There's a lot you can't do. I get it. And the limiting beliefs come rushing in, the limiting thoughts. I can't do this because my genetics. I can't do this because I'm too old. I can't do this because I don't have the help. I can't do this because I don't have the money. Na, 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 na. Okay. This isn't about delusion or denial. It's about looking at the brutal facts of our current reality and asking ourselves this, what can I do about it? From a place of clarity. What can I do to move into a new direction? What decision can I make today to impact my direction that will then impact my destination, my destiny? These are all thoughts. These are all things within our control. So as you write the word can't down, cross off that T aggressively and circle C-A-N and ask yourself, what can I do today? What can I do today? What is in my control? There's so much more in our control than we think. And guess what, mamas? Extreme ownership is powerful. It's all your fault. And I know somebody might say, but no, they did this to me. A car hit me. But you were on the road. You were driving. You got yourself in the car. You put yourself in that position. I get it. Being the victim feels easier. Being the victim feels like the easy road. And I'm not saying that these circumstances don't happen because they're happening all around us. I was in a car accident where my truck was completely totaled. And I still ask myself, where am I to play at this? What responsibility? Where's my responsibility in what happened? But pointing the finger and putting the blame finger on other people feels so much easier. But it's not helping anyone. And actually, it's infecting your inner world because you're now thinking negative thoughts and then you're putting negative energy out there. And what happens when you put negative energy out there? Everybody around you feels it. Your kids feel it. Your husband feels it, your partner feels it, your mom feels it, the people that's walking by feel it. People can feel your negative energy. So sometimes you get to check yourself. Sometimes you get to do a body scan. Welcome in, Deborah. Sometimes you get to actually say, okay, what is going on here? Welcome in, Jewel. What is actually going on here? You know? I saw a mat yesterday that I thought was so inspirational. My cousin sent me a picture of it, and it said, check your vibe before you come inside. Check your vibe before you come inside. It's a doormat to the house. And what a great reminder to continually be checking our vibes. What is another word for vibe? Vibe, V-I-B-E, our energy. How is your energy at any moment? And what is that looking like? And what is that actually feeling like? Ask yourself this. Pull yourself out of your body and ask yourself, if somebody was standing 10 feet away from you, what kind of energy would they feel? Because guess what? They can feel it. They did some studies, and people can feel your energy from like 10 meters away. Like, it's proven. Like, the vibrations that you send out are felt, like, non-negotiably. You can actually feel it. Have you seen somebody with negative energy? They're slumped over. They feel like, I get it. Like, maybe they're sad. Maybe they're discouraged. Maybe they're just grumpy, right? That energy is felt, like, non-negotiably. You can actually see it. They say nonverbal body language is like 70% of communication. And that nonverbal energy is actually like radiating, and like frequency is coming out of our bodies, and people are feeling that around us. Now that we know that, science proves that, okay, what kind of energy are we actually sending out today? Mamas, it starts from within. Get your inner world right, and your outer world will feel that positive energy. What do I mean by it starts from within? What thoughts are you feeding yourself today? Thoughts are like food. Food is fuel. What thoughts are fueling you today? What thoughts are fueling you today? And I get it. We have unconscious patterns. We have unconscious beliefs. We have unconscious judgments that we're continually making. It's not about stopping them. It's about noticing the patterns, noticing them as they come in, and saying, this isn't me. This is a pattern that's been running my life, but guess what? Today is a new day. It doesn't have to be that way. Today is a new day. If you're in a negative mood, snap out of it. How do you snap out of it? You can literally snap. Pattern interrupt. Snap your finger. Okay, whoa, I'm here. So this morning I was at the gym, and one thing I do is I like vigorously shake my hands. I wish you guys could see me right now. I vigorously shake my hands, and I allow myself to feel my hands shaking. I'm doing it right now because then it's like, wow, my hands are moving, I'm alive. But so often we let our mind run our lives. And when we're in our head, when we're in our mind, we're dead. The body's dead. There's no movement. There's a lifelessness to it. But when we waken up and become alive with the oneness that is with all life, within ourselves and others, all of a sudden we feel alive, and we're able to connect to that. How do you connect to that, mamas? How do you connect to that? Well, it depends on the person. It depends on what works for you. I can speak from personal experience. I don't give advice, but I will speak from personal experience, because maybe something will resonate with you, and you can take the best and leave the rest. One way that I connect and reset is through my breath. Bringing awareness to the breath. That's one way. Another way is to let out a gentle sigh. Okay, that's another way to reset. Another way to reset that I just told you is to shake your hands vigorously, and like look at the shadow of your hands on a piece of paper shaking, and you realize that you are at awareness, noticing you're not your thoughts. Okay, now that I see that my hands are shaking, if you're driving down the, I know in the United States it's spring/summer coming up here. If you're driving, just roll down the window and put your arm out the window. Allow the air to hit your hand and feel the air moving back and forth through your fingers. That will help you feel alive, and that will be a pattern interrupt to allow your mind to quiet into the thoughts that it's running your reality, and tap into the sensory of the wind hitting your arm to remind yourself that, okay, wow, I'm alive and I'm not my thoughts. That's the third way. Fourth way, splash some cold water on your face. I know that this sounds like, really? Like, yes, like go into the bathroom. If you're ever feeling negative or you find yourself spiraling, take some cold waters in your hand and splash it on your face, like right on your face. Like Like just splash it. It doesn't need to be a full submersion. It needs to just be an immersion of awareness to you actually splashing cold water on your face. It's a pattern interrupt, and you're like, oh, whoa, okay, whoa, I'm not my thoughts. I'm not the stress that I think is me and my life. Okay, that's another way. Nature is another way. Touching a leaf, touching some soil, touching a pine cone, staring at a tree, looking at a tree. For me, every once in a while, hugging a tree, realizing that we are that stillness, that oneness with all life, and now you're out of your head. And this sounds comical, and you might be laughing right now, like, are you serious right now? Like, you go and touch a tree and you like hug a tree? Yes. Unfortunately, we've been taught that tree huggers are weird, and we've lost connection to the very nature upon which we came. However, with awareness, you can realize that that tree is a great representation of stillness. And I kid you not, mamas, if you're ever stressed out, just stare at a tree for like 5 minutes. You will notice the tree is not stressed. All these people walking around in madness with the thoughts in their head going to and fro and all these places to go. If you look at the tree, it stands tall, its roots deep, it's at peace, it's gently sways in the wind, it stands tall, it's going through it all. And if you connect to that stillness that is represented in the life of a tree or a plant or a flower or a blade of grass blowing in the wind, you're able to connect and realize that that's you as well. Unfortunately, what's happened is we think that we're our thoughts, and we don't take the time because we feel like we don't have the time to look and stare at a tree for 5 minutes. But that is an amazing way to reset. Just sit and watch a tree for 5 minutes and actually just look at the tree, the beauty of a tree. Allow your mind to quiet and tap into the stillness. Tune in and turn on to what is actually happening beyond the thinking mind. From that place, now you have a sense of grounding. From that place, you have a sense of clarity. From that place, you have a sense of understanding. From that place, you have a sense of curiosity to where these thoughts, these crazy thoughts that are running our lives even come from. From that place, you can get clear and start to take accountability. From that place, you're able to move forward in a more productive way, peaceful way. Because what we think is we have productive reactivity. And that's what you say, that's what you hear when people say, oh, I'm so busy. Productive craziness is what it is. A lot of it's reacting to unconscious patterns that we've been taught from childhood. A lot of it's us running to work, doing things that we don't actually enjoy because we've been taught that we need to actually do that, and that's the role that we need to play. Busy is another word for like unconscious if we don't bring awareness to it. Oh, I'm so busy. Doing what? And most importantly, how are you doing what you're doing? And I get it. I built and sold a company. My first company I built and sold. I get what it means to feel busy. I get what it means to feel so real. Like, that's great. When I sold the company, I realized, what was I building that for? Like, my need to prove something to somebody? Like, my need to survive because I felt like I needed the money for this or that? Okay, that's great. And it's not to shame myself for building and selling a company, no. It's about realizing that what was driving my life when I was building wasn't actually my life. It was an unconscious pattern in my mind. And I thought my life was busy, but really I was busy being unconscious, meaning I was building the company unconsciously. And that's okay. It isn't about going back and shaming ourselves and condemning ourselves for what we didn't know then. But what I'm here to do, mamas, is help you realize that consciousness that is within you and to ask yourself why you're doing what you're doing, really connect to the things that you're doing, and move forward in a more peaceful, present way. And these are deeper questions, and I get it. And first of all, Emily, first of all, Deborah, I want to congratulate you guys for showing up today. The fact that you're on this call right now tells me that you are into living a more peaceful, present life as mamas. And that is amazing. Sam, I see you. Welcome in. Continuing to show up Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for your betterment. Congratulations for continuing to show up for you. And my hope is that after these calls, I know that there are bursts of like reality and presence and consciousness. What I encourage you moms to do is to carry this out. Carry this conversation out through your days and through your lives. And that's what embodiment is. Thank you guys for being in the shift reset. How's that going? How's the shift reset going for you guys? Have you been able to tap into the emails? I know we had some issues with the links working at the beginning and stuff, but how has that been going for you guys that are in it? I understand that it might be hard to unmute right now as lives are happening. The shift reset, Emily and Deborah and Sam, that's that 5-day reset that we have with the emails with ways to actually reset real time when stress is coming in, starting by noticing asking ourselves a deeper question of what's actually happening here when stress arises, when anything from mild irritation to full-blown outrage or frustration comes on, asking ourselves a deeper question, what's actually happening here? Taking that pause, that space in between of noticing, okay, I'm feeling this way, and taking that pause through deep breath and reflections and asking ourselves the question of the thought that is stressing us out, is it true? And then moving forward with a new, empowered, creative solution to the problems that we're facing with grace and space and love. You guys, it is all love, right? And when I say it is all love, love relieves the pain. Love covers all. Love kills anything other than itself. It is all love. And so when you bring that love to the conversation of the person that is wronging you or perceived wronging you, you are able to come from it from a place of love and compassion. When you mess up or when you feel like you fell short and you're wanting to blame and shame and complain with yourself, knock it off. Love yourself. Love that version of you that didn't know what you knew back then. Love that version of yourself that didn't have all the answers to the solutions that you were trying to solve. Love yourself for that tired mama that was exhausted in the moment and snapped at her kids because that was the best thing she could do at that moment. Love yourself for when you said that thing that you didn't mean to say, or you did that thing that you didn't actually mean to do, but because you were sleep deprived, hungry, and spread thin, you snapped or reacted in a way that wasn't in alignment with your higher self. Okay? Blame and shame does not live here anymore. I want you mamas to say that. Blame and shame, complain, guilt doesn't live here anymore. Release it. Today's a new day. But now you know better. Now you're wiser. Now you know how to handle. I come on here to equip you guys with tools and techniques to navigate the stress and the anxiety and the overwhelm that we feel on a day-to-day. And if we aren't aware, mamas, it will spiral you out. It will take you down where you don't want to get out of bed. I'm getting emotional because I've been there before. Where I don't want to get out of bed because my thoughts, it just feels so heavy. And I can't do it, okay? I had you mamas write down the word can't and cross off aggressively the word T and circle the word can. And I'm doing it here with you. Maybe you can hear the marker circling on my paper right now. Can. It's about what you can do today. For some days, when I was going through depression, what that meant for me was waking up and brushing my teeth. Sending a message to a friend to tell him, hey, I love you, thanks for being here for me. Sending a message to God saying, thanks for waking me up today when you didn't have to. Sending a message to my bed that was holding me while I was depressed and say, bed, thank you for holding me and holding space for me here and now. Thank you, bird, for chirping outside my window, and I can hear the sounds of your music, your communication. How beautiful is that? Thank you, lungs, for breathing me. Thank you, blood. Thank you, cells. Thank you, heart. Thank you, brain. Thank you, mind. Thank you, mind, for a clear mind. If you all mamas are here right now, you have a clear mind. I know you do because you're here. Congratulations. Don't allow that negativity to drag you down. It will try to. Rise above it. Rise above it. Rise above it. Notice what's happening. Pull yourself out of your body and realize that, okay, these are just thoughts running my reality right now, but it doesn't have to be this way. What can you do today? Hydrate yourself. Half of your body weight in ounces of water. What else can you do today? Go move for 5 minutes. Outside or inside. Just walk. Just get up, take a single step, step by step, inch by inch. It's a cinch. Mile by mile with a smile. Why do I say mile by mile with a smile? Because it's a beautiful thing to be able to walk a mile. You know how many people would wake up and want to walk a mile today, but they can't? Okay, let's be grateful as we walk that mile. Yard by yard, do it hard. Why do I say that? Because I get it. It's not always going to be easy. Life is never easy. And quite frankly, my mentor, John Maxwell, told me once, everything worthwhile is an uphill battle. Everything worthwhile is an uphill battle. Everything. It doesn't say everything worthwhile is a coast. It doesn't say everything worthwhile is a downhill trot. No. Everything worthwhile is an uphill battle. Your inner health, uphill battle. Your digestive health, eating the right foods, uphill battle. Your physical health, fitness, uphill battle. Your strength, building muscle, or whatever area of your life that you're trying to strengthen, business, finances, fitness, mindset, emotional health, uphill battle. Relationship health, uphill battle. Friendship means nothing if it's only when it's convenient. Okay, so what does that mean? That means if you want to have a good friendship, it's probably going to be an uphill battle. You're probably going to have to do things that are uncomfortable in the moment, things you don't want to do. You might be exhausted, but you take that call anyways because you know your friend needs you. That's an uphill battle. That's what I'm talking about here, mamas. Everything worthwhile is an uphill battle. Don't trust me. Test it for yourself. A good relationship with your kids, uphill battle. Takes intention and attention on the days that you don't feel great, on the days you want to check out, but you actually check in. I was talking to my cousin about this yesterday, and we were talking about speaking our need, and she says, you know, because I'm not the best cook, you know. I try, but there's some nights that I don't have the capacity to actually make dinner for the family. And we have canned foods, healthy foods, healthy canned foods. We have rice and things that I've prepped in advance. But, you know, there's some nights that my husband will come home, and if I'm sitting on the couch and the dinner isn't made, that means that I don't have the capacity to make dinner. So then I give options to the family. Okay, cool, because there's always options, mama. There's always options, okay? You can make something that's pre-made. We can DoorDash something in. We can go out and eat something. But me actually cooking dinner right now isn't the option, an option. But how many times do we do stuff resentfully? Because we feel like we have to do it. And how many of y'all have ever cooked a meal resentfully or done something that you were exhausted doing and you didn't really want to do it? And you actually bring that energy into it. I won't do that. So then I just won't do the thing. If I'm in a place that I don't have the capacity to do it, I speak my need and I just don't do it. But this is the boundaries that I'm talking about, mamas. Draw those boundaries in your life. If you can't do it, communicate that and get help so that the people around you, they are not mind readers, so that they know how and what state you're in so that they can come in and help you and provide solutions to the thing. Now, there are some times, okay, we talked about that. There are some times, so we talked about speaking your need. We talked about providing yourself with options when things are stressful, etc. There's always an option A, B, C, D, E. Check in with yourself and ask yourself, what do you need in this moment? Give yourself options and allow those around you to understand those options as well. Okay, we have that down, right? This is just an example of making dinner when I don't have the capacity to. and not wanting to cook dinner resentfully because I'm drained. Now, what about those times that you have to show up because you made a commitment? What about that Thanksgiving dinner that you got to make because you committed to it and everybody's coming over and they're excited for your sweet potato, mashed potato, and it's not even Thanksgiving. We're here in April, but this is an example. I know y'all can relate to this. Friends moving, you wake up to help them move that morning and you're just exhausted. You don't want to help them move. You committed to it, so now you got to show up. So now you're in a situation that you committed to it, and if you don't, this is the key right here, mamas. Check into this. Listen closely here. If you've committed to something, whether it be to yourself or others, and you made the commitment, and you get to that moment when you actually don't feel like doing it, when that time comes, push the F through. And what do I mean by that? I mean, if you've committed to it and you actually told them, you gave them your word and you said that you were going to be there at that time, and you don't feel like it or you're not in the mood, push through. Now, how do you do this? I have a trick for you guys. Not a trick. None of this stuff is tricks. It's actually tapping into what you already are. I have a way for you to get through this with grace and ease. Get grateful or get gone. What do I mean by that? Okay, I'm making the dinner that I committed to because I told them that I would, and I'm tired and I don't want to be doing this right now, but I'm here doing this. Get grateful or get gone. Tap into gratitude. All of a sudden, when you're making that meal, you feel grateful for the tomatoes that you're chopping up and the people that allowed those tomatoes to get somehow, some way into your hand at that moment. Do you know the journey of a tomato from Mexico or from Ecuador or from wherever it came? It somehow got its way from the field to your chopping board. What? It's like magic. Somehow, that tomato from far away got from the field, somebody picked it, or a machine picked it, put it on a truck, the wheels drove that tomato to the store. Okay, somebody unpacked that tomato from the truck into the store. Somebody then unpacked that tomato into the store and put that tomato in your view on a display of vegetables. How blessed are we to walk into a grocery store to just see a plethora of vegetables. There's food deserts all around the world where people don't even have access to food. Healthy food. It's a real thing. Google it, food deserts here in the United States. So if any of you mamas can walk into a grocery store today and pick up a fresh piece of fruit or vegetables, you are blessed. But let's continue. Somebody put that tomato on display for you. And let's say you are actually the one that picked up your tomato from the store. Somebody got you transportation to, somehow, some way, you got transportation to be able to get to the store. And you have legs to walk into the store. And if you have money, if you have $1 in your bank account right now, somebody gave you, or somehow something happened where you now have money to pay for that tomato. What? You then drove your groceries and that tomato in your car on those wheels to your house where you have a home. Huh. What? Okay, now you see, you're starting to feel grateful. So now you have that tomato. You have that tomato in your car. You now drove that tomato to your place of residence. I don't care if it's a hut. I don't care if it's a apartment complex. I lived in a studio apartment. Let's say you have your tomato in your studio apartment. Okay, wow. You have a place to cut that tomato. Now you have the tomato on your board and you're looking at your tomato and you're not wanting to cook that dinner that you made a commitment for. And now all of a sudden you feel grateful. You feel grateful to be able to cut that tomato, and you cut that tomato with pride. You cut that tomato with gratitude. And now you're getting grateful. And now you're tapping into the frequency of gratitude. And a frequency of gratitude, thankfulness, appreciation appreciates. What does that mean? It magnifies. All of a sudden you feel grateful for the knife. that you have to cut it. All of a sudden you feel grateful for the pot that you're throwing it in. All of a sudden you feel grateful for the kids that you're feeding, the mouths that you're feeding. All of a sudden you feel grateful for your fingers to be able to cut. You feel grateful for your hands to be able to move. You feel grateful for your digestive system that's going to be able to digest the tomatoes. What? These are things that are overly overlooked, easily overlooked if we don't bring awareness and gratitude for what we're doing and how we're doing it with attention and intention. Now all of a sudden you feel grateful. And instead of woe is me, you're saying wow is me. Okay, I'm doing the darn thing and I'm doing it grateful because I get to make this meal. I don't got to, I get to. Can I get an amen on that? I don't got to, I get to. I don't got to, I get to. Now all of a sudden you're feeling grateful. And yes, you might be tired. And yes, you might be exhausted on your last fuse. But you know what? You're finding those things to be grateful for along the way. The simple things. Right now I have eyeglasses on my eyes. Without my eyeglasses, I can't see crap. With them, I can. I'm grateful for eyeglasses. Shoot. I'm grateful to be talking to you all right now. I'm grateful that you're here. I'm grateful that we're doing this, that we have another day here. How amazing. I hope that helps, mamas, when you're pushing through things that are hard. When to know when to communicate your need and when to push through when you've made the commitment. Does any of that resonate with y'all? Are there any takeaways from that?
Yeah, thank you so much, and it's right on point. Thank you.
You're welcome, Angelica. I'm here. I'm here. Sometimes I allow the space to settle in. And in that space, I'm here to remind you all, it's going to be okay. God woke you up today. Every single one of you. On purpose, for a purpose. And sometimes, as life feels heavy, as life feels impossible at moments, things, situations, suffering that happens, as I mentioned, everything worthwhile being an uphill battle, it's easy to lose grip on the beauty in the moment. It's easy to lose grip of the gratitude that can be found. Why do I say found? Because sometimes it's hard to find, right? Gratitude is always there. And as you practice gratitude, it's something that becomes unconscious where you're grateful all the time. But sometimes on those harder days, you have to find it. You have to take a second, a pause to say, wow, what can I be grateful for right now? Even though all this is hard. What can I be grateful for in this moment? The kids that I have, even though they're hard some days, I'm dealing with I get to deal, let me reframe that, right? We don't got to deal, we get to deal. I get to deal with a 4-month-old right now that's going through sleep regression. Many nights I'm on 2 hours of sleep like I am right now. I wake up at 3 a.m. to go to the gym and train every morning from 3 to 5 or 6 a.m. to fill my cup. Exhausted. On this call right now, I'll be honest with y'all. I don't feel I feel okay. I'm grateful. I'm not gonna tap into the frequencies of how I feel, because sometimes how I feel is irrelevant. I show up anyways. And I'm grateful to show up, and I'm grateful that you all are here. But what I'm saying is that some days like this, it's hard to find things to be grateful for because your physical body's exhausted. You're emotionally exhausted. You're mentally exhausted. But I'm here to help you all relieve yourself from the mental and emotional exhaustion, because a lot of that is self-created, and it's through the thoughts that we're thinking that are creating the suffering in our lives. Without the thoughts, there is no suffering. I was sitting with my mom yesterday and I looked at her and I said, Mom, here's a test for you, and I'll do this with y'all right now. It's a question, actually. As we're all sitting here on this call, answer honestly, and you're listening to me. Beyond the thoughts that we're thinking, past, future, are there any problems in this present moment? This present moment now. Are there any problems in this present moment now? She sat there. She thought about it. She looked up at me on the couch and she said, no. There are no problems in this present moment. But the mind would have you to believe, yeah, there are. I can count them. I can count more problems that I have than are on my fingers. This and that and finances, and I don't have help, and I don't have, you don't have help, really? You're on this call right now. You don't have help? God woke you up today. He's our help. But this and but that, and you can, that's why I encourage you all to write your problems out on paper, because it's good to look at them for what they are, the perceived problems. But I'm talking, mamas, in this present moment, are there any problems? Are there any problems in this present moment? Right here, right now. Not yesterday, and not what you have to do in an hour or the next moment. I get it, having a 4-month-old. I mean right now. No, there aren't. There aren't any problems in this present moment. There aren't any problems in this present moment. And if we lived our day-to-day like that, we would have a lot more peace. Our heart rate, our blood pressure would be a lot more stabilized. We would be able to think clearer and kinder with more compassion for ourselves and others. That's why it's just a gentle reminder. It's a gentle reminder. Know whose you are. Not who you are, whose you are. You're God's. You are His. And He is yours, and He is our strength. And He'll work things all together for the good who believe in Him. We can count it all joy. We can count it all the trials that we're going through. We know that we're learning from them. And today, I gave you guys a couple exercises, and I want you to think about this, right? And I'll give you a closing exercise, because I don't want to overload you with things to do, right? Because quite frankly, when I come on here and I talk to you guys, it's about undoing. Not things to do, but things to undo, to reconnect to what's already there. With that being said, I want you all to think about what you can do, capital C, what you can do, not what you can't do. There's a lot of things that you're going to think you can't do. I'm asking you and encouraging you to write the word can't, cross off the T, circle the word can, and circle it hard. I don't care if it's on the back of a receipt. I don't care if it's in your iPhone and you write the word can and then you actually delete the word T and you stare at the word can do for a few seconds. I want you to write the word can't. I want you to cross off the T and circle can. Now with that focus of what you can do, I want you to ask yourself, what can I do, and how can I move forward today in a more productive, peaceful way, from clarity, compassion, curiosity, understanding. Because there's so much more that you can do, but when you focus and when you prime your RAS, which is your reticular activation system, on what you can do, guess what? You find solutions. But if you're focusing on what you can't do, you'll find all the reasons why you can't. But if you laser in and circle that word can, your RAS, it's called your RAS, Google it. It's a focusing illusion. An example is, let's say you get a brand new car and you see that car be everywhere because you have that car. You're focused on it. What you focus on grows. period. Where energy goes, where focus goes, energy flows, right? Focus goes, energy flows. So what are you focusing on? What thoughts are you thinking? Those will grow. So back to the word can't, cross off that T, circle can. Focus on what you can do. Focus on the encouragement that you can give yourself and others today. Focus on what you can do in the situation that feels impossible. That's the first thing. We talked about gratitude and how to actually feel grateful. I talked about the journey of a tomato and how somehow magically that tomato makes its way from the field. Actually, before the field, it was a seed, into your digestive system. And somehow our bodies just process the food, process it. What? Wow, magic. I talked about the journey of the tomato and how to push through and show up when you made a commitment, and how to communicate your need when there is no commitment made, but an actual clear understanding of what needs to be communicated. I gave you the example of me not having the capacity to make dinner, but knowing and giving my family options so that the nights that I don't feel like it, they understand they can make their own dinners, and I prepared them to do that by giving them options or preparing the food in advance. Speaking our need. People aren't mind readers. And not doing things resentfully when we actually don't have the capacity. And then pushing through when we know that we made a commitment and when we don't have the capacity. Being grateful, tapping into that frequency of gratitude to feel grateful to be able to do it. We talked about going from got to get to. So I want you also to write down got, and I want you to write down get. It's not about what you got to do. I gotta do this. I gotta pay these bills. I gotta go to work. I gotta. Nope. Cross that off. Circle get to. I get to go to work. I get to go provide a way for my family today. I get to go move my body. I get to wake up my 4-month-old and change his diaper and tell him good morning. I get to do it hard. We talked about inch by inch, it's a cinch. We talked about mile by mile with a smile, why an attitude of gratitude changes everything. We talked about yard by yard, doing it hard, because everything worthwhile is an uphill battle. Period. John C. Maxwell. I talked about ways to reset, refresh yourselves. Pattern interrupts, starting with your breath. Awareness of your breath, feeling your breath. Taking a pause, asking yourself what's really going on here, asking yourself, is it true? Looking at a tree for 5 minutes, staring at a tree for 5 minutes, and the stillness and the connectedness of it all, the peace that comes from it, and the peace that's within you, beyond the mental chatter and noise and unconscious patterns. Getting out in nature, moving our bodies, feeding ourselves positive thoughts, knowing that the thoughts bear fruit, period. Full stop. Positive thoughts, positive fruit, negative thoughts, negative fruit, negative frequencies around you. I talked about how people can feel your energy from 10 meters away. That's science. That isn't woo-woo theory. People can feel your energy from 10 feet away. And if you all are listening to this right now, you can feel my energy probably over the intercom here. Like, whoa, wow, how cool is that? So check your energy. Check your vibe before you go inside. A building, your house, a room. You know, I ask myself that all the time before I enter the room to get my little guy up. Might be tired like I am today. I'm about to go wake him up and get him going. I'm going to check my vibe before I go say good morning to him, because guess what? He's going to feel my energy when I tell him good morning. Am I going to give him a tired good morning? Oh, good morning. No, like I talked about at the beginning of the show. Good morning. And when you say good morning and you actually realize, oh, it is a good morning. Okay, good morning. Good morning. Yes, it is. Yes, it is, mamas. It is a good morning. It might not feel like it. And Omose, or wherever you are. I know it might be afternoon. It's a good afternoon. It's a good night. It's a good evening over there. So wherever you are across the world, I know we're all tuning in from all places of the world right now. Good, ... period. Good, good, good. Feel that good, because it is good. But unconsciously, we just run through it. Next time you ask somebody how they're doing, how are you? Like, it's like how are you? Good. How are you? Good. Like, no, like, how are you really? How are you beyond the unconscious rattling of whatever it is? Ask somebody else that, and actually, like, ask them, how are you really? Not like, how are you really? Like, how are you really? Like, actual compassion and trying to understand how and actually they are. And if they want to tell you, they'll tell you, but that curiosity will open up and unlock a whole new level of communication. Try it. Next time you're checking out at the store, or somebody calls you a telemarketing call and you're annoyed, ask the person on the other line as an actual fellow being, how are you? Sometimes people are making those calls, they hate their life and it's miserable for them. Are you going to be the continuation of why they hate their life and hang up on them? Calling from some place from all around the world, who knows where, what they're going through? That's why I don't hang up on them. I used to. I'll be honest with you. I used to get sales calls and just click. But that doesn't feel very good. Now, I actually stop and I say, like, hey, man, like, how are you? I know I'm a random voice on the other side of the world here on this device, but I'm here. I'm real. This isn't a bot. We live in this AI culture now where everything feels so, like, artificial and cold. I'm a real human here, and I know you are too if you're talking to me. How are you? As human to human, not bot to bot, not bot to human. Bot meaning robots. I mean human to human, man to man, woman to woman, sister to sister. We're all connected. How are you? Get out of ourselves and get into the other person, the other being there. And that's a cool exercise. And then I've had them on the other side of the call say, thank you for giving me patience today. Thanks for chatting with me. I'm like, you're welcome, man. Like, thank you for calling me. Instead of being annoyed, I'm like, grateful. Whenever something comes into my field or my phone, there's days where I need to take space, and you all know what that is. It looks like when you set boundaries and you don't want text messages coming in because you need to reset yourself, your system. But oftentimes, if you have the capacity, take the call and actually ask the person how they're doing, or thank them for calling you. Thank you for calling me today. So often we think it's an irritation or annoyance. But when you realize that it's all happening for you, you're like, okay, wow, thank you for that call today. Maybe they have something to say that you'll need to listen to later, or that you need. This is what I'm talking about, the alchemy of awareness, mamas. This is what I'm talking about bringing consciousness to our connections and interactions and the people in our lives. Because it's easy to go unconscious. It's easy to hang up on people. It's easy to hang up on people in life. It's easy to hang up on ourselves. Don't hang up on yourselves today, mama. Today's a new day. Don't hang up on yourselves. Don't hang up. Pick up. Don't go to sleep. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. You're alive. We're alive. Show up. Pick up and show up. You can do this. I believe in you. You're here. Clearly, you can do this. How do I know you're here? You're listening to me right now. That's how I know. But you don't need me to know that I know that you know. I need you to know that you know. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And yes, you will. Period. Whew. Drop a heart if that resonated. Before we close out this session today, does anyone have anything to say, a takeaway, a question, a situation that they would like to talk about? Okay. Proud of y'all for showing up. I'll be back here on Monday, same time, 7 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, as we address the stress and bring awareness to the things running our lives to make that shift. We're wrapping up the 5-day reset that we did, the free reset. And I'll be starting another one next month. So if you guys want in on the free reset, just shoot me a message on here and I'll send you the link to the free reset. It's 5 days. I have video trainings and an exercise, a prompt after the videos for us to reflect and embody these things, because common sense isn't common practice. I'm not telling you, mamas, anything revolutionary, but I am reminding you of what you know, and sometimes we need that gentle reminder as we embody a new reality through our thinking and the way that we navigate this world and our families and ourselves. So congratulations for being here today. And yes, that's a clap. That's not a golf clap. That's like a pat yourself on the back. Heck yes, way to go, way to show up, and way to still be here 54 minutes after we started. So many people tap out, tune out, and I get it because we're mamas, it's busy. But thanks for sticking here with me, y'all. And as we close out this session today, I invite you, mamas, wherever you are, to allow yourself to be in this moment as it is. Maybe you're walking, maybe you're in the shower, maybe you're driving, maybe you're running, maybe you're sitting. Allow your body to be as you settle in to this present moment. Wiggle your toes, maybe wiggle your fingers. A couple torso rotations or head rotations, whatever it is for you, just settle into this moment as it is. We'll take a deep breath together, hold for 2, release. Here we go. Deep breath in. Hold, 2, 3, release. Deep breath in. Hold, 2, 3, release. Congratulations for y'all being here today. I look forward to talking to you again on Monday. I now have a podcast on Spotify, and it is the shift frequency, that's SHIFT frequency, where I drop little 2-minute nuggets to help us shift into a new mindset, a new energy as we do what we do as mamas and in our leadership. And so if y'all want the link to that, just shoot me a message and I can send you that. It's free podcast on Spotify, just little nuggets, nothing like hours long, just a couple minute inserts that I give for reminding us all of these things, you know. So let me know if you'd like the link to that. I will be here on Monday, God willing, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, same time. Until our next conversation, mamas, know that I'm here. Shoot me a message if you need anything. But most importantly, know that you are here. You are here in this present moment. It's the past that will drag us into that, and the future that'll pull us into that. But what I encourage you to do is just remind yourself that you're here. You're here and now. Be here now. And as we realize that we're here now, as we realize that we're here in this present moment, it's just a reminder that at any moment you can return to that present moment through our breath, through connection. When you're folding laundry this weekend, cooking dishes, doing the things that you do on a day-to-day basis, washing your hands in the bathroom. Bring awareness to those simple things that you're doing, and it will transform your experience. Feel the cloth in your hands. Be grateful for the cloth. Be grateful for running water. Be grateful for the things that you're doing. And that will transform those moments. But, you know, as you look at your life, life is lived by moment. Life is full of little moments. Little moments add up to life, right? And so how can we bring presence to the moments how can we bring magic to the mundane, the magic to the moments that are creating this quote unquote life? We don't have a life. We don't have a life. We are life. You are life. And so when we bring awareness to that, transforms the experience. And now from that place, we can be better moms, better wives, better contributors to our fellow man. And so I'm so grateful to be here with you all. And I look forward to speaking with you guys on Monday. If you need anything in the meantime, let me know. Until then, be well, much love, and bye for now. Let's go.